Human bodyguard bleeds for alien diplomat, and she breaks protocol for him. The summit hall shimmered with crystalline light, the towering spires of the Valtherus capital visible through the arch windows. Human security detail was rare here. The Valtherus considered most species too volatile for sensitive diplomatic work. Yet Commander Alarave, the most influential Valtherus diplomat in 3 star systems, had insisted on one, Lieutenant Marcus Hale. His assignment was simple: protect her during the high-stakes peace negotiations. But simple rarely stayed that way in the Galactic Union. The conference had barely begun when the shouting started. A faction opposed to the treaties stormed the hall, their weapons glittering like venomous fangs. Marcus reacted before anyone else, throwing himself between Alara and the incoming fire. The blast hit him square in the side. Pain exploded through him, but he kept moving, his body an unyielding wall between her and death. He fired back with practiced precision, downing one attacker, then another. The alien security teams hesitated. Valtherus law forbade lethal force in the council chamber, but Marcus didn't have the luxury of following their rules. By the time reinforcements arrived, the insurgents were down and Marcus was on his knees, blood soaking through his uniform. Alara was kneeling beside him, her usually composed silver eyes wide with something he had never seen before: fear. "You're hurt," she said, her voice trembling. "It's my job," he managed, forcing a weak smile. "I'm just glad you're safe." That was when she did something no Valtherus diplomat should ever do. She reached forward, her hands cupping his face, a gesture reserved for bonded kin, and whispered a phrase that shattered centuries of rigid protocol. "I will not lose you." Her personal guard stiffened in shock, but she ignored them. In the Valtherus code, physical contact like this with an off-worlder, especially during official duties, was scandalous. It implied a personal connection deep enough to override all professional barriers. Without waiting for permission, she pressed her hand to the wound, channeling a shimmering pulse of healing energy. The room fell silent. Such an act was not just against diplomatic decorum. It was punishable, but her eyes burned with defiance. "You've broken every rule in your own code," Marcus rasped, "for me." "You bled for me," she replied softly. "The treaty can survive without my reputation. I cannot survive without you." Her guards exchanged tense glances. In Valtherus society, such an admission was tantamount to declaring a life bond, and once spoken, it could not be withdrawn. Hours later, in the safety of her private quarters, Marcus woke to find her sitting beside him. Her usual diplomat's robes were gone, replaced by simple midnight fabric, her hair unbound and cascading like liquid silver over her shoulders. "You should rest," she said gently. He studied her for a moment. "You risked your career today." "I weighed my career against your life," she said simply. It was not a difficult choice. Marcus felt a pang of something he'd tried to ignore for weeks, the growing connection between them, one they were both supposed to pretend didn't exist. In the beginning, he had thought her cold, calculating, untouchable. But moments like this had shown him the truth. Beneath the layers of diplomacy was someone willing to defy an empire for someone she cared about. "You know they'll talk," he said. "They can talk," she replied, her voice quiet but resolute. "Let them write their reports and whisper their gossip. I will not apologize for saving the man who saved me." Silence hung between them, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was a silence of two people standing at the edge of something neither had dared to name. "Marcus," she said finally, "when the treaty is signed, my duties here will end. I will have choices I never allowed myself before." "And," he asked carefully, her lips curved into the faintest smile, "and perhaps I will choose to keep my bodyguard close, not for duty, but for myself." He chuckled, wincing slightly at the pull of his wound. "Sounds like I might have to break some rules of my own." Her hand brushed his, lingering there. "Then we'll be outlaws together," she murmured. Outside, the city hummed with the sound of preparations for the treaty signing. Inside, a human and a Valthorous diplomat sat in quiet defiance of every law and protocol their worlds had built, not caring, for once, about anything but each other. Because sometimes, the moment someone bleeds for you, you stop caring about the rules entirely.